In supplies of the 4 corvettes and 3 submarines. He wasn't shy to talk about the role that advisors or consultants play in the arms deal world, but he refuses to describe the money paid as bribes, nor does he admit that prices of military hardware were inflated in order to funnel money. None of the whistleblowers were available to cross-examine him. A public hearings into the multi-billion rand arms deal continues in Pretoria this week. Representatives of 5 companies which supply South Africa with armaments started testifying from today. They supply South Africa with military hardware including warships, submarines, Gripens and Hawks fighters, as well as helicopters. Now, the representatives from implicated companies took the stand, and to get more on what transpired today, let's cross live to our reporter covering the commission, Njanji Chauke in Pretoria. And Njanji, a very good afternoon to you. Now, it seems that the spotlight in the arms deal now shifts to the companies that have been accused of bribery and corruption. Tell us what transpired today, Njanji.
Thanks for joining us here, Alicia. Basically, today we saw one of the preferred bidders being a German company, their representative coming through to testify. Klaus Westermark gave details of how they went through the bidding process, but also denying allegations of fraud and corruption. He even went as far as denying those allegations that the company paid a bribe to the former chief of acquisitions at defense, Njanji Chauke. He also refuted allegations that they were corrupt, saying that investigation that was done in Germany as well as in South Africa, there was no evidence to prove that fact, nor was anyone prosecuted. His statement was very brief. He submitted a very short statement. It was very precise, to the point. It didn't take most of the day, as we've seen with other previous witnesses, Alicia.
Njanji, what can we expect moving forward from the commission?
We are likely to see more companies that have been implicated. Here I'm talking about companies such as BAE Sub. They supplied South Africa with those fighter jets as well as those lead-in Hawks that were acquired from BAE as well as Sub. They will be coming through to testify on Friday. We will also see the suppliers of those light utility helicopters coming through to testify. What was interesting about today is that none of the whistleblowers or the so-called arms deal critics or the people that have leveled these allegations against these winning companies were there to cross-examine the German frigate consortium, this witness that was on the stand today. So that was quite interesting, as we know that Richard Young, one of the losing bidders, finished his testimony late on Friday, Alicia.
Njanji, look, are you able to tell us who's to testify next? I know you've just mentioned that all the companies that have been fingered in the investigation, we still don't even know when the commission is expected to wrap up. What can you tell us on that?
The commission, according to their current schedule, they're likely to wrap up next month. From then on, they will sit down to compile a report which they will submit to the presidency in October. We are only left with a few companies that will come through and testify from Friday. There's also 2 other witnesses that will be recalled for cross-examination. But may I also add that last week when Richard Young was testifying, he did raise an intention to have some of the previous witnesses recalled, also hinting to the fact that maybe it will be good to have the commission applying for another extension. That is not confirmed as yet, but as I said, according to the current schedule, they're expected to wrap up the public hearings only next month.
Njanji, I wanted to ask you this, and you've just addressed it. If at this stage, does it look like, in fact, that there will be more setbacks with the commission?
Many people have raised concerns about delays that we've seen with this commission. You'll recall that they already started their work when they were established. They started about 3 years ago, but the process moved very slowly. They applied for 2 extensions. As we saw some of the witnesses being so reluctant, some of them complaining that the commission is not cooperating with them in terms of letting them have access to some of the key documents. I mean, if we look at people like Richard Young, he only came through to testify after failing to appear on more than 2 occasions. So that should give you an indication of these delays that we've seen with this commission. Other people also jumping ship or withdrawing from the commission. Here I'm referring to some of the arms deal critics of people who have written books, authored books about this arms deal. Andrew Feinstein, Henny van Vuren, as well as Paul Holden last year in September, withdrawing from the commission, raising concerns about its credibility, saying that it was so biased towards the government. That also causing a number of delays. But now it looks like they're very close to wrapping up before they could table those findings to the presidency only in October. They still need a few more months to sit down and collate all the information and submit that report to the presidency.
Thank you for that. That's our reporter, Njanji Chauke. Live to us from Pretoria, Njanji is covering the Arms Deal Commission.